welcome to this webinar. We are glad we can host you here today, and I'm even more happy to welcome also our panelist, Kim. Kim, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Great to have you.
Kim, great having you here. Let's start with a quick introduction of yourself, and then we jump straight into it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, everybody. I'm super excited about this webinar. And a little bit about myself. I'm the first employee of Kickscale, and I'm in charge of our customer projects and B2B SaaS enterprises. And yeah, I learned a lot from Gerald, and hopefully we can give some knowledge to you today, and so you can go out of this webinar and already apply some knowledge. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kim. Great having you here, and welcome also from our side. Welcome from the Kickscale side. It's great that we are able to share today our learnings from the past years, from the past almost 10 years already in B2B sales, from B2B companies, from seed to Series C, from complex enterprise sales processes towards easier sales processes, and sharing with you what's common in these meetings so that you out there can be successful. This is the most important part, and this is the goal why we are here. We want to give you the playbooks, the insights and the tools that you can be successful. So let me show you here what's on our agenda today. And we are talking about the meeting playbook. So who of you guys want to feel like the guy here up left? Say aye.
Oh yeah!
And who really wants to feel like the guy there bottom right? Say aye.
Oh yeah!
What do you really want? And you should ask yourself that all the time before doing sales meetings. Is it like, hey, there is another sales meeting going on? Or is it like, hey, there's another opportunity for us, another sales meeting where we can crush it, where we can get some opportunity out, where we can get closer to hitting our monthly, weekly, or even quarterly quota. And this is what we want to enable for you guys today. We work with a lot of B2B SaaS companies together and see always some common mistakes, and we'll share that with you today. And we'll present you also the playbook, which you can adopt for your industry, for your product, so you are successful in your sales meetings. Why are we here today? Most sales meetings are boring. They are badly managed, badly organized, and the worst thing, not followed up. We see out there, and we'll share some statistics with you guys too, we see out there that sales meetings can be improved dramatically. From an initial qualification meeting towards a first discovery meeting, towards even further down the line, meetings can be improved. And meetings are the most important part in complex B2B sales. We worked over the last years to put that playbook together, which is the best practices of what we share also with our customers. And we will get that today as well and presenting that to you. 88%. What do you guys think 88% means? I tell it to you. 88% of people want to have a really, really trusted advisor as a salesperson. So that means 9 people out of 10 will not buy from you if you're not a great advisor to them. If you are not following certain steps, if you are not knowing them personally, but also business-wise, but even more important, if you are not speaking their language and if you are not focusing on the customer, because this is really, really important. 9 out of 10 people want to have a trusted advisor before they buy anything. And for all I saw a lot of SDRs, BDRs joining that as well. For you, the sale obviously is another meeting, is generating an opportunity. It's the same thing. 9 out of 10 need a trusted advisor. And another thing why we are here too, 60%. What could this be? also something we researched, which was quite interesting. 60% of all the people say 5 times no before they say 1 time yes. And that's what you also have to know. Getting to yes is, especially in a sales meeting, especially in a qualification meeting, but even more important in a closing meeting, really, really important. And that's what we talk today. That's what we will give you, the agenda from the playbook and how this will look like as well. So first of all, I'm going to share with you here the agenda. And the agenda is 3 simple points. We will go through what is important before the meeting, what is important during the sales conversation itself, and we will go through what is after the meeting and what are the follow-up steps and the next steps, what is necessary here. You will get that playbook obviously in a structured way with some content in there too and recording. I will tell you at the end how you can access that. And for all the webinar participants, you get that for free. So let's start with before the meeting. And what's really important before the meeting, and Kim is the expert also in preparing the meeting, and we'll give him in a second also the microphone here to talk a little bit about that. And we will also get some comments from the audience too, which I'm also super excited about. But sales, especially in the meetings, is like in sports. Preparation is the most important thing. Prepare for it, train for it. Go never, ever unprepared into a sales conversation. That's the worst thing you can do, yeah? And follow really the preparation steps so you don't forget about anything. Make yourself a playbook, however you want to make that checklist, digitalized or even in a book, whatever, but make sure you take care of the right steps. And take your time for the important sales conversations. And that's really important as a very, very first step. And Kim, I'd like to give it over to you that you show a little bit how we are preparing, how our customers are preparing for certain sales conversations.
Yeah, of course, I'm more than happy to do so. Give me a second so I can open it.
Yes, thank you. And great.
Do you guys see it? No.
Yes, perfect. We can see it.
Okay, great. So yeah, at the beginning, maybe I can close it again so you can see. In the playbook here, first, the preparation is also a matter of a mindset, I would say. So at the beginning, I want to give you some general guidance and also some rules on the way to a really good sales meeting. So rule number 1 or 0 here, it's always about the customer. So it's never about you and your amazing solution. No, it's about the customer and his pain that you want to solve. And the next really, really important thing is decision-making is a combination of emotional and rational aspects. And I don't know if you ever heard this fact, but it's 80% emotional and only 20% rational when a customer takes his buying decision. And it's really, really interesting. So a lot of things are coming together when he decides yes or no, if he should go with you or not. And this emotional aspect, as Gerald mentioned before, he also gets like combined with trust. You know, like if he has a good feeling that you're a person or that you're an expert in your industry, then he would also establish this trust with you. And obviously the rational side would rather be like, if you have something that actually solves his pain. And the next really, really important thing is talk about benefits. And we put an example here, and this is more related to what we offer our customers. So the product, what we offer is a platform that provides sales playbooks. What are sales playbooks? Sales playbooks are the best practices, step-by-step, small piece of knowledge that we offer to you and that you also get after this workshop. Obviously, the features that you want to talk about, how you can help them. Yeah, obviously, if you have the sales playbooks from us, we want to enable your team to do the best sales they can. And the benefit, if you have a sales playbook, your company will thrive and your company will increase your revenue by X%. And there are some couple of rules that you should follow, and I want to give you on the way. So always appreciate your customer. Appreciate that he shows up to the meeting, that he takes his time out of his busy schedule and actually wants to talk to you. Recognize that, acknowledge that you're really thankful. Show him, be excited that he's there. And also show him trust. Trust also goes both ways. It's not a one-way street, as I mentioned before. So establishing this trust is a really, really important part of the sales journey. Be always objective. So in a sales meeting, don't bring in your emotions. Stay always calm, be always objective. Very, very important. Number 5, never interrupt a customer when he's talking. Even when you have the feeling like, oh yeah, he's talking in a circle and you heard it already 5 times. No, really give him the time. Let him do the talking and show also that you understand what he said. And don't be a teacher. Don't teach him on some things when he, I don't know, said something wrong about sales, about any solution or any facts. You don't want to be a teacher or give him educational advice. Be always empathic, and in every sales conversation, empathy is really, really important. And obviously, number 8, show him what you can do for him, that he actually didn't waste his time to show up on this meeting, provide value. Value is very, very important. That's why in every meeting, doesn't matter if it's a workshop, a sales meeting, or just an internal meeting, always try to provide some value. And the language, I think that's a no-brainer, but don't be rude. Don't use words like expensive, hard, difficult. Anything that is having a negative connotation might not support that you actually reach your goals in the end. And the next thing I want to talk with you guys are, who are you chatting with? That's a really, really important thing. Prepare yourself for the meeting. And that has a headline, and I love to say it every time I talk to one of my customers. I always tell them, prepare yourself, show the other person that you know them. Show you that you know me. And you can also think about a little bit in advance to get in some information. Either could it be about the company itself or the participant of the sales meeting. Ideally, you get all the information here. For example, the company name, the industry, how many employees are working within the company. Look at the company profile on LinkedIn, Google them, maybe read some articles about them, some recently published acknowledgements from other customers, or maybe they went on a trade show. Always define what you want to talk with them before. So what are your goals? What are their goals? Like, come prepared. That's probably the biggest outtake of here. Yeah, prepare yourself, and especially with every meeting, but especially with bigger customers, it is really important to show them that you took your time, that you value them, and that you're actually prepared. And also the attendance information, know who's attending the meeting. Maybe if there are multiple attendees, look them up, write down the job titles, even copy the LinkedIn profiles. That comes in handy during the meeting, after the meeting, and also before the meeting. And yeah, in the end, where you can find this information, you can either find it on the website of the company itself. LinkedIn is a really good source of information. Personal blogs, sometimes people love to post about the industry. So there are maybe thought leaders in the industry, read their blogs, also mention them during the meeting. They always appreciate it. And if you have something in your CRM, and if the CRM is well maintained, then also look in there, and maybe one of your colleagues already had a meeting with them, and then you can find valuable information there.
And Kim, can you share us also like an example, right? Because that's what for a lot of people are asking us all the time is like, hey, it's great, yeah, but how can we find this information? How can we relate to that? And what would be from your point of view also a good example when you go to LinkedIn and look this up? How does this look like for you?
I also prepared an example. Maybe after the third point, I'm gonna show a little bit how I would do that.
Perfect.
But first,
Perfect.
I just want to talk a little bit about prepare the first minutes, and then we can look into a nice example. So the first impression counts. So you never get a second chance for the first impression. Don't be late, be on time, and that also shows appreciation to your client. Search for similarities. Maybe the person has similar hobbies than you. And also here it says mirror the other person in the sense of sometimes repeat what the person said just to show them that you actually understood what the person said. And that's really, really important. That's a technique also in psychology to mirror and show the other person that you actually fully understood and acknowledged what he said. And get yourself in the best state possible. I think Gerald is a great example for this. He's like always in the best state he can, and he's always positive, and the other person in a meeting would feel that. If you go into a meeting and you're not on that peak state and you're not positive and you're not energetic, then the person will immediately feel that. Always smile. Let your teeth out hang to dry, like show your teeth. Make real and honest compliments if you feel like. You don't have to do this, but it is always well appreciated. And be yourself, be authentic. Humans want to communicate with real humans, and that's so true, especially nowadays when everything is virtual. Be authentic, be you. And now I kind of want to show you a little bit about how I would approach the preparation. So I prepared something for you guys, and I'm gonna share it in a bit. I hope you can see it. So here I prepared Cyril. He was like a meeting I had a couple of months ago. He was really, really nice, a French guy, and he's an innovator in transport and mobility and supply chain and logistics. He works for Oracle, and I just want to go quickly through it and show you guys how I would prepare for it. So first of all, obviously, find out a little bit about Cyril himself. So what is he doing? What is his position at Oracle? Maybe read his biography. So here you can find already a lot of information. So he's a project director, and he's working with transportation management systems. A lot of information you get already in there that you can mention at the beginning of your meeting. And personally, the fact that I like the most is here, Cyril is really, really passionate about running a marathon, about doing triathlon, about cycling, about swimming. And I'm also passionate about running myself. So we already had a really great topic that we can talk about. And we actually did talk about that in the first couple of minutes of our conversation. And he really, really liked it. In the end, we didn't proceed, so it was not a fit, but we're still in good contact, and it was still really, really nice with Cyril. I want to show you a little bit what I also found at his posts here, maybe to give you a little impression. He even posted a photo of himself somewhere down the line where he was swimming. Oh yeah, here. So dig a little bit deeper, have a look at the activities of the person you're gonna meet, and sometimes you find some gems like here that you see what the person is passionate about. So that's how we prepare. Maybe also it makes sense to look a little bit into the company. For example, at Oracle, if you click on this button here, you can read about the company itself, how many employees they have. So you can see here they have a lot of employees. You see a company description, and you see already the link to the website. So you can dig a little bit deeper here as well. Okay, maybe nice. I'm gonna hand back to you, Georg. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, so the preparation phase is truly important. And as Kim mentioned, LinkedIn, website, a good way is also go on the website, check out their career page and see what kind of company values they have. So usually you can then already relate to their personality, yeah, because at certain companies, certain kind of personality types work there, and the company is the whole set of these personality types. Once you are prepared, yeah, we go to the next phase. But before that, I'd like to take also one from the audience, yeah, and check also here out what's their process of preparing, yeah. And who wants to go here? You can just raise your hand, please. And then I make you to a panelist. And I see here Risto, yeah, perfect. I make you to a panelist, and this should happen in a second. And then you are absolutely able to share here. So Risto had to rejoin, yeah, but now it's possible, Risto, that you can share here your thoughts. Welcome, Risto, to the stage here. Welcome.
Hi, can you guys hear me well?
Yes, perfectly
yes.
Fine, Risto.
Great, yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing all these insights. It's great being here, and I'm happy to be among other salespeople where we can obviously exchange some best practices information among us. What you guys said, what Kim said especially, it's very true. It's something that I do practice on daily basis in my everyday work. I would say LinkedIn and obviously the company website are two great sources that you can use to prepare for the meeting. In addition, I can say that I very often check at what has been the correspondence with the current prospect or even account in the past, right? I might find some gems over there. I might see if we've ever been in touch with them before, or if some of my colleagues have been in touch before, because in that way, I can kind of pick it up from where they left from, or give them updates on all the new things that were developments that have been happening at our end since the last time that they spoke. Sometimes it's good to, good trigger to kind of spark the interest back into a conversation. And then the same stands for previous activity of the people you're talking with. You want to look at what they like, what they comment, if they posted any type of update in terms of not just their title or position, but also in the company. Did the company want another series of investment? Did they just acquire another company? All of these things that can be a great conversation starter, but also it can be something to dig deeper into and gain value out of for you as a salesperson. And then you can also, of course, give examples on your end of the funnel as to how successful you've been with similar companies or similar people who had experiences like that not too long ago. So definitely one of the best way to prepare. I would even give another small tip is I'm a bit of an old school person myself, so I like to write things down. I like to keep things in order. It really helps to just have a list of the main topics or some questions that you really want to ask, really want to dig deep into, just by your side, whether if it's on a sticky note, whether if it's on a Word document, whatever works best for you. But just, having that little guideline next to you to help you in just to follow the whole process and conversation, not just to make sure that you don't miss out and get lost in the conversation. So just to make sure you want to tick all the important boxes, but also to just kind of, have a helper that's next to you, indirectly. Not a real person, but just something that kind of gives you the little push whenever you need it, if you get stuck, and so on. So yeah, I guess these are a few little tips that I can kind of contribute with. If there's anything else that I can help you guys with, happy to do so.
Risto, thank you very, very much. Give him a hand.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Risto. One final question for you as well. How long do you usually prepare like for a qualification call? I mean, obviously depending on the size of the comp, but what's your typical process? Is it like 10 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it depending? What's your thought here?
That's a good question. I would say it really has to do a little bit with it, kind of the experience that you have in doing this. With me, you know, with time and the more experience I get much faster and confident with that. I start seeing out things, you know, much easier than I used to do before. So I've brought down the time for preparation to, you know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I've already got all the information that I need. It used to take me a bit more, maybe 20 to 30, just because I wanted to make sure I go through all the facts and don't miss out any detail that might be useful for me. But I'm sure that, you know, all of you guys here and people that you're gonna share this information with will be just more and more comfortable with time and with experience. And preparation will be, you know, one of the easiest and fastest parts of the sales process for you.
Awesome, Risto. Thank you very, very much for sharing your insights and appreciate it. And thanks a lot for letting us be part of your journey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. We continue here and going to the next step. Yeah. And the next step is now finally we made it. Who is excited now having the sales meeting? Yeah. Say I. And having the sales meeting now, yeah, brings you to another part of this process, which I'm going to share with you right now. And we will work on that together now. And a good sales conversation, yeah, has typically 4 phases. And I make here like these 4 phases, and I see it always as a circle, and please imagine it as a circle, yeah. 4 phases where you have like phase 1, where you have phase 2, where you go then into phase 3, and then you have a final phase, which is phase 4. And every conversation you do in sales, you can structure it in that way. And we have seen that if you have a clear structure, you follow it. It's like when you are training for a marathon, if you have a clear plan, what you do on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, you follow that. And here it's the same. So let's start with the first phase. And the first phase is the introduction phase. Yeah. And the introduction phase, let me make that a little bit bigger here. And the introduction phase is the introduction phase. Quite simple, right? The purpose of the meeting, what's the plan of the meeting, and so on. So you go through that, and I'm sharing that with you here. Like the first phase is really introduction phase, yeah? Discovery is the second phase. I'm showing you first all the phases that you understand a little bit. How does this look like? Going into the discovery phase, then going as a next step into the solution mapping phase, yeah? And then as a 4th step, offer and closing. This is really one step together here. Obviously, it's all depending on your individual sales process. Sometimes this can be in one meeting. Sometimes this is split up into 2 or 3 meetings. So don't get me on that, yeah? If you take it like 60 minutes if this would be 60 minutes of your sales conversation, yeah, we will also split it up into different parts. Going back to the introduction phase, this is where you go in and say, hey, who are you? Introducing, small talk, and so on. All of that should be a maximum of 5% of your time. Not more. Really be nice, be friendly, everything what Kim mentioned, 5% of the time introduction. I show you then the concept, what you can say to make sure everyone is super aligned and the script you can use. Once you have set the plan and the purpose of the meeting, you go into the discovery phase. And I'd like that you write a little bit in the chat, what do you think with the discovery phase? How much percent of a whole meeting, if you think of introduction, discovery, solution mapping, what's your take? How much of time you should spend there in percent of the whole meeting? I like that you guys write a little bit into the chat here. And you can write it to everyone. So just write it here. And if no one is writing something, I will say it to you anyway. The thing is, yeah, with the discovery phase, or actually it's not enabled, I would have to check, but it should be enabled. With the discovery phase, you should spend at least, yeah, 70 to 80% in there. Why is this so important? It's about the customer. You want to understand what the potential customer needs, what the potential customer would need to take a decision today or to move forward to the next step. So 70 to 80%, the most common mistake we see in sales meetings is people too fast going like into the solution mapping phase, which could be then like 10 to 20%ish. Yeah. What is the solution mapping phase? It's like when you present your solution to the problem the customer has. In B2B, we sometimes make it more complicated as it is. That's why I will give you an easy example then also that you understand that. Only if you know the problems, yeah, of your potential buyer, and I would say 3 problems, yeah, which means, and imagine you want to buy a car, because this is a simple example and I like to make it simple, yeah. You want to buy a car, and every one of us has certain reasons why they buy a car. And you would agree, I hope, that different people have different reasons for buying cars, and that's why there are so many different cars out there. But on the other hand side, if you know the buying criteria, the buying decisions of the certain person, you can tailor your offer towards the need. And that's what you should do, especially in B2B SaaS. I know most of you guys, when I walked through the registration list, selling B2B SaaS, some also selling services. For services, this works great. But for B2B SaaS, yes, I know it's one solution, but make the solution personalized to the needs of your customer. Your solution has 100 features, brings a lot of benefits, I'm 100% sure. But mostly there are actually 3 drivers, yeah, 3 motivators why people are buying. This can be KPIs, this can be emotional, all the things. We have not time to cover everything today, so we are running through here in really fast. But again, I'm sharing at the end the whole playbook where you get all the insights. But this is what you want to get out. You want to get out the 3 maximum drivers, yeah, to move to the next phase. If you know that someone is searching a car for going to a skiing resort with 2 kids into the Alps, it's easier to sell a 4x4 car than a cabrio, right? And that's what you need to know, because if you would be selling the cabrio with no 404 to a father of 2 with a family love going to ski in Carinthia, for example, it will be hard to sell the cabrio, even if the cabrio is the nicest thing on this planet. Yeah, probably it would be good as a second car, but not as a first car if they do 5, 6, 7 skiing trips a year to Carinthia. And this is what you have to get here. You map that out, and then again, really fast going through that. And only if you really understand all the phases of your customer, of your potential prospect, yeah, you walk from one phase to the other. Like only if you know these 3 drivers, like this person is interested in a solution where they don't have to program anything, in a solution which can be integrated on iOS and Android as well as web, and a solution who plays ads smoothly on Google Chrome, whatever. Only if you know these 3 drivers, and this can be also like that they want to increase revenue by 20%, that they want to reduce costs, whatever it might be, can be personal related and business related. Only if you know these 3 drivers, or even more, but I would suggest 3 main drivers are there and probably some others, then you move to the solution mapping phase. And then you present your solution, solving and helping exactly with these 3 drivers here. Nothing more. Because everything else is not really of interest to your potential buyer. And I will tell you what questions to ask and how to go through them. If there is no need, listen to me now carefully. If there is no need for your solution, there is no sale. It's that simple. If you don't have the feeling you can help your customer, if you don't have the feeling it works, there is no sell. And here in this solution mapping phase, you obviously present your solution, but focused on the specific problem or solution your customer wants to have. Out of a generic solution now, there is a specific solution coming into place, which is great. And here again, from this phase to that phase, you ask again certain questions like, is that what I'm presenting to you exactly what you are looking for? Yes or no? You want to get yes. As we heard at the very beginning, people tend to say 4 or 5 times no before they say yes. So you want to collect yeses all the time. And once you presented this solution mapping phase, you go into the offer and closing, which is typically, from a timeline perspective, spending like again 5 to 10%, not more. Presenting the offer, and there are also nice tactics how to present the offer, which you find also in the playbook. This is really the process you leverage in every meeting. Again, it can be 2 meetings. It can be 1 meeting, especially when you are splitting up the function between like SDR, AEs, and so on. That, for example, there is a part where you do the introduction and the discovery, and then there is another part where is the solution mapping, and probably even another part where there is the offer and the closing, especially in B2B, SaaS, and enterprise sales, this can be the case. But overall, that's what you want to get out of this process. And now we are looking a little bit deeper into how this looks like, how every of these steps looks like, and what you need to do, and what rules are applicable to get that going. So let's jump into that. And we get going. And team, great having you here. And we go now into these 4 phases and showing you the concept of each of these phases. And these phases are important. And you see now here the 4 phases, which is actually the introduction phase. And you can use this as a script, as this is the best practice, right? It's like, imagine this is the first thing you are saying when you enter the meeting. Hey, Marcus, we chatted last week. In our chat last week, we agreed to meet today at 2 p.m. And now we are here, and I'm really excited, looking forward to this meeting and learn from you. Why do we do that? This is the truth. Because at a certain stage, you contacted them via email, via phone, via LinkedIn, and you arranged a meeting. You arranged a call. And with these sentences, you get already 3 times yes. Hey, Marcus, we chatted last week. Yes, that's true. Hey, in our chat last week, we agreed to meet today at 2 p.m. Yes, that's true. Second, yes. And now we are here, and I'm really looking forward to this meeting. Yes, number 3. So you have to prepare your prospect towards yes, that they like you, that they say, yeah, this guy knows what he is talking. And it's as simple as that, because this is the truth. And we want to get the truth ready. Then you make a pause, and then I suggest to talk about the purpose of the call. And you can say it really like that. And again, I'm reading this also here from the script because it's so important. You should not read it, you should learn it, obviously. The purpose of the call today is to get to know you and your company better, to see how Kickscale can help you, or to see how any company, how I can help you. It's about you again. The plan for today's meeting then is, first we do a quick introduction. Then I would like to ask you some questions to understand your situation. And afterwards, if you'd like, I'm more than happy to share what we are doing and presenting a specific offer to you if you'd like. How does this sound to you? Get the customer involved. Don't present it, but ask always for permission to say, is that how you want to be treated, or is there something else? The customer, it's always about you, the customer. And obviously, if there are additional team members joining, yeah, make space to introduce them. Let everyone talk the same way, get some introduction, but also brief your team members. I had that also in various meetings, that then a team member introduces them and it takes 10 minutes from a 60-minute conversation just introducing them. That's not the most important part. Most important is always the customer. Make a quick introduction, what you do, and going in there. Why do we do that? And I want that you understand this here. Yeah, I'm marking that also here once more in yellow. Listen carefully and actively what you actually want. There is so much busyness out there. It's so much going on in everyone's heads of us. So you want to get your customer into a wellness format. You want that this customer really feels, hey, this guy takes the time. This person is really focused on me and helping me to find the solution. So this is here the most important part. 5% again, really fast. We go to the most important part, which is actually the discovery phase. And here, stay with me. Yeah, important here. And please write that down. If you have something to write that down, this is in the discovery phase, the most important part. Open-ended questions. Hey, I would really like to know how you have become so successful. You raised the Series C, you raised the Series B, you raised the Series A, you are scaling up internationally. Congratulations. I'd like, how have you done that? Especially for executives who are successful, this is an opening question, which is amazing. Because how do you feel when I ask you, hey, you're a great salesperson, you closed that deal, tell me, how did you do it? Usually most people feel good about it because they can tell about themselves, which is important because you want to learn. You want to connect to the other person and want to understand deeply what they care about and why they are here. So this is a great introduction question. And then you are going into the need discovery. Yeah, like saying, hey, tell me a little bit. What was the reason you jumped on the call today? How do you think we can help you? How do you think, what's your biggest problem? And so what's your biggest challenge? And then you go through that. Yeah, I'm not going through all the questions. We have some best practice questions in there. I suggest to everyone in an organization, especially the sales leader, make your own questions here focused on the specific problems you are solving, because that's what you want to have. You want to ask the questions that the customer tells you the solution and you have the solution already. You don't want to present the solution. Hey, we are the greatest guys in enabling sales teams and so on, because you would not believe me, right? Because yeah, everyone can say that. But if I ask you, hey, what's your problem? And you tell me, yeah, that, and then I say, hey, and how what would this mean to you if this could be solved to you? Say, hey, we have done that for other companies as well, and I'm more than happy to present it to you if you are interested in. Do you think that could help you solving the problem? So that's what you have to focus your brain on. Yeah. And we have not learned that already. Obviously, there is no school for sales. We have not learned that to ask these right questions. And then you are going into deeper questions like, hey, what are 3 qualities a service to increase your revenue must have for you? Or what are 3 qualities a platform must have where you enable your sales team with the best know-how? And then you listen again and you say, yeah, you know what? I need something easy accessible, or whatever it is. I need something where I don't have to take care because I have to manage the whole process. It's anyway too much for me as a sales leader. All these things are in there, and asking open-ended questions. Most importantly here, that you discover the need. You need the need. What's the why behind it? That's so important. And then you get out with like these questions. What's your biggest challenge? What are 3 qualities? What did catch you while reaching out? What is important in terms of your sales goals? How do you make sure you continue to grow? Where do you manage all your sales know-how? How do you generate leads today? What works best for you guys? Where have you documented it? And so on. And there are a lot of people out there saying BANT is a little bit outdated. Yeah, so BANT is like budget, authority, need, timeline. And there are pros and cons for it, yeah, because we are going into a world where people trying everything before and so on and so forth. But we are still humans. we are still communicating with humans, especially on the enterprise side. And as a good salesperson, you want to understand the need, what's driving behind. And that's what this question makes, the opening up. Obviously, more and more gets to marketing too, because marketing is qualifying via the website, via questions and so on. But this is what you need to know once a deal progresses. Same for the timeline. Yeah, I heard today something really nicely, which I want to share with you. Yeah, which was kind of, hey, we know that based on previous experiences, it took to implement this process, what you think it takes usually 6 to 9 months. We as a partner would really plan that accordingly with you. What's your timeline in mind? Give them some things, yeah, to get, do they have a timeline or not? Yeah, again, I think the need is the most important part. Timeline, authority, budget, and metrics is important too, but the need is most important. The authority is usually one simple question: who decides about the potential solution? And most people I've worked together with, they are afraid of going too far, so that's why they are not going far enough. Once more, yeah, they are afraid of going too far, so that's why they are not going far enough. What do I mean by that? You can ask any question in a sales conversation. I think no question is inappropriate if you have the right voice and the right tone, because you want to understand how you can help them best and want to align the buying process with your selling process. And that's nothing else what you do here. And then one important part, to scroll here once more in there, the metrics. Besides the need, yeah, I want to have a new video player, for example, yeah, because my old video player is not working on the latest iOS version, or I have an open source video player which the maintenance is just too expensive. Great why, great need. But what does it mean, too expensive? How much money are you investing in your player every single month, every year? How much money are you losing because you have an outdated player and you cannot play the latest ads on the latest iOS version or whatever? This is the metric you have to get. And if the bigger the metric is, the easier it will be selling if your price is smaller than this metric. This is what you need, because this is solution selling. Going in there, figure out, this is what I want to see with metrics. Not like, yeah, they have 100 million impressions, for example, if it's a video player or whatever, or if they have thousands of users, that's great too. But ideally, I want to get the pain point. What's driving them? Why do they want to make a decision? And if they wait another day, how much money have they wasted? Because they have not taken a decision. Because this is the gas which you put in the fire also afterwards. Discovery phase, really, really, really important. I cannot stress that enough. After the discovery phase, you only go to the next phase where you present your solution, you present the offer if you clearly understand what your prospect or your customer wants. Hey, Marcus, from what you mentioned, I understood the following, right? You are looking for a service where you want to increase your revenue. You search for a way where you can store all your best practices in sales, that new joiners of your company can leverage this know-how easily. And you want to have more time for you and your newborn and your wife, so you would have some times to give back because everything is automated. Have I heard that correctly? Always give that feedback loop. And only if you get a yes, oh, Gerald, yes, you are right. I want to increase my revenue. I want to have more time with my wife and my kids. And I want the solution where I have all my best practices in with video, whatever, to share it with my team so that I have time, because this seems to me my biggest problem. So Marcus, it seems like time is really, you want to spend time different tomorrow than today, right? Yes. And then, you know, time is really important, revenue, and then this is make a numbered list. Then you say, if he says yes, hey, Marcus, if we have a solution for you, for exactly that what you mentioned, can I present it to you? Are you willing to see it? Don't go just in and present it. Always get the feedback. Hey, do you want to see it? Why? Psychologically, your prospect has decided that you presenting, not you have decided, hey, here is the solution, listen and go through a 15-minute demo. And then after 5 minutes, he or she has no time anymore. The prospect decides. If no, obviously go back to the discovery phase. Yeah, really important. As I mentioned here, if you are in the solution mapping phase, you cannot go in there if you don't have all the free items or how much they are. I would recommend free. Then you have to go back to the discovery phase. And then going quicker through that, you have the solution presentation phase, the solution mapping phase. Here you present your solution. A general solution will be a completely customized solution to solve the problem that you are losing revenue because you cannot play ads on an iOS device and losing every day 2,000 euro because you are not tackling that problem. Here is the solution which solves exactly that problem. And then before you then go into the, and obviously in real world, especially in enterprise, it's a little bit more complex, but what you want to get out now of the solution mapping phase is you want to get the yes again from your customer. You want to say, yes, this is the solution. Hey, and then you ask again questions. Say, hey, if we can really solve that problem, that you are not losing any more 2,000 euro every day because of your outdated video player, are you willing to work together with us on that to improve that? And you ask these questions and you get the yes from the right people because you want to get this. And only then, yeah, you go also to the next phase. So I shared it anyway with you due to time reasons. And then you have also one final question, right? So Marcus, based on everything what we have talked about now, when do you think is the best time to replace your video player that you are not losing 2,000 euro every day? What do you think? And it has to fit to the situation, but the only answer which can come out now is yeah, now, ideally yesterday, because we don't want to lose money anymore. And then you say, hey, Marcus, that's right. Yeah. So do you want to see our offer? How we can fix that for you? Then again, when the customer says, yes, show me your offer, then you go into the final phase, which is the offer and closing phase. And you always close. Yeah, this is really, really important. So always be closing and sell what your customer needs. Provide what your customer needs. And you present the offer in a specific format. Like you say, hey, you get all the know-how in applicable playbooks. You get access to even other know-how from best-in-class playbooks, and your team can walk through that anytime they want. All of that costs only 49 per user per month. And in addition, you also get every second week a coaching hour in where you can ask questions. When shall we start? And this is how you present the offer. Also, SDRs, BDRs, listen here too. Also, when you want to make a follow-up call, present it in that way. Hey, I hear you will get that, that, and that. Let's set up a call next week, 2 p.m. on Thursday, and we will also add our technical resources as well. Make the offer so much valuable. It's not about the price, the time they have to spend or the price they have to pay. It's about what they get in terms of 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then when they start, if they say yes, obviously, yeah, then when do we start the onboarding? Everything runs through. I sent you the contract through. You can sign it. Can I send it directly to you or also to the other person, and so on and so forth? If there are some no's, which you definitely will get, there is no sale without a no, and this is good in that way, yeah. Then there is objection handling. And there are tons of objections. This can be a different webinar, yeah, where you handle this objection. If someone says it's too expensive, I have no time, and so on. But this is like the 10 most common methods to solve that. And this is how you do the sales conversation itself. And afterwards, follow up. It's so important to follow up. You agree on detailed next steps. You summarize the next steps. What are our action items? What are the prospects' action items? Ideally, the deal is closed. Yeah, and you send out the contract. That's totally fine. But in most enterprise deals, this is not the case. So you send the follow-up email. You send the next meeting out. You activate the trial, for example, if applicable, and so on and so forth. And you send obviously also a follow-up template out where you get that in, and you will get that in the playbook directly in there, the follow-up template which you are seeing, and then you can copy that follow-up template and send it out to your prospect. This is really what we want to teach you today and what we want to share with you. If you guys want to get access to that playbook, feel free to go to app.kickscale.com, yeah, and sign up for free for an account. I have enabled for everyone who is signing up right now that this playbook, how to do great sales meetings, is completely available for you guys in that account. And obviously it's not in 1 hour, you cannot say anything I want to say. Yeah, there is a ton more, but you have here the videos for every step. You have even the videos in which you can watch and you can recap if that's of interest. If you guys have any feedback, we are still staying on the call here. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer that. Thanks again, Christo, for jumping in there, especially for the meeting preparation. Yeah, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. And wish you guys all the best. And obviously everyone who wants to stay, please feel free to stay. We will answer any kind of questions, and I'm more than curious about your feedback as well, like from Christo. Really want to know more how you see that process, what needs to be tweaked to get that done. Take care. Wish you a great afternoon and evening, and it was a pleasure hosting you today. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, if you ask me the question, did I find this webinar useful and helpful? Here's the answer.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. And don't forget app.kickscale.com, where you get the access to these playbooks. And as you can see here, a ton of other playbooks too, and even a complete playbook marketplace where there are a lot of playbooks in.